Wu Zetian's story begins not with scandal, but with an extraordinary ascent. Born in 624 AD to a respected family, Wu entered the imperial court as a concubine to Emperor Taizong of the Tang Dynasty, a role typically reserved for quiet support and little influence. But Wu possessed an intelligence and ambition that set her apart. After Taizong's death, she became a favored consort of his successor, Emperor Gaozong, and from there, her power grew steadily. Through deft political maneuvering, alliances, and a keen understanding of court intrigue, Wu rose above rivals and adversaries, eventually declaring herself emperor in 690 AD, the only woman in Chinese history to claim that title. Her reign was marked by significant reforms. Wu Zetian promoted meritocracy, opening government positions to talented individuals regardless of their family background. She supported advancements in agriculture, education, and the arts. Under her rule, Buddhism flourished and China's influence expanded. Yet, for all her achievements, Wu's personal life became a battleground for rumor, suspicion, and slander. The whispers began early. As she consolidated power, opponents sought every opportunity to undermine her authority. In a patriarchal society where rulers were expected to be male, Wu's ambitions unsettled many. Critics painted her rise as unnatural, attributing it to manipulative seduction rather than skill. The court buzzed with gossip about her relationships, her supposed ruthlessness, and the men who surrounded her. Among the most infamous tales are those concerning the Zhang brothers, Zhang Yiji and Zhang Changzong. These two young men reportedly entered Wu's service as entertainers, known for their charm and striking appearance. Many sources describe them as favorites of the Empress, suggesting their influence at court grew not from political acumen, but from personal intimacy. The brothers were said to enjoy privileges and status far beyond their official positions, sparking envy and resentment among established ministers. But was this scandal true, or a product of political smear? It is important to consider the nature of historical sources. Much of what we know about Wu Zetian comes from official chronicles written after her death when her enemies had regained control. These texts often reflect the biases of Confucian scholars who saw female leadership as a threat to traditional order. Slander was a common weapon in court politics, used to discredit rivals and justify their removal. The accusation that Wu Zetian kept male lovers was especially potent. In ancient China, emperors routinely maintained harems of concubines, but women in power faced different standards. Where male rulers were celebrated for their romantic exploits, Wu's alleged affairs became evidence of immorality and excess. The double standard is clear. Her critics leveraged gendered expectations to erode her legitimacy. Yet, even as they intended these rumors to harm her, the stories reveal something remarkable about Wu Zetian's reign. Her ability to defy convention inspired awe and fear. She was a ruler who bent the rules, choosing her own advisors, promoting those she trusted, and refusing to be constrained by tradition. The legend of her lovers is as much a reflection of the anxiety she provoked as it is a record of her personal life. Supporters of Wu Zetian argue that her relationships, real or imagined, were no different from the privileges enjoyed by male rulers. Emperors often elevated favorites, granting them positions of influence and wealth. The difference lay in perception. For Wu, every deviation from the norm was magnified and condemned. Some historians suggest that the Zhang brothers, while certainly close to the empress, may have been scapegoated, used by rivals to explain policies they disliked or to create divisions within the court. There is little concrete evidence of the supposed excesses. The most detailed accounts come from later dynastic histories, which often resorted to lurid detail as a way of vilifying their subject. The Tang dynasty's official records, written after Wu's death, describe her court as decadent and corrupt, but these descriptions served political purposes. By painting Wu Zetian as immoral, her successors could justify their own rule and erase her legacy. Modern scholars have re-examined these tales, questioning their accuracy and intent. Many now see the stories of Wu Zetian's lovers as products of misogyny and anxiety over female power. They argue that her reign was marked more by administrative innovation and stability than by scandal. The legend of the Zhang brothers, while persistent, may be little more than a reflection of the challenges Wu faced as a woman in a man's world. But the power of legend should not be underestimated. The image of Wu Zetian, surrounded by handsome companions, ruling with both passion and intellect, has endured for centuries. It speaks to a fascination with those who break the mold, who refuse to live quietly within the boundaries set by society. Her life became a canvas onto which hopes and fears about gender, authority, and morality were projected. In the end, the truth may be less sensational than the stories suggest. Wu Zetian was a ruler who understood the importance of loyalty and trust. She built alliances, rewarded talent, and made decisions that strengthened her position. If she elevated certain individuals, whether the Zhang brothers or others, it was likely because she saw in them qualities that served her interests. Whether there was romance, friendship, or simply political utility, the reality was complex. The legend of Wu Zetian and her supposed lovers endures because it asks a deeper question. How do we judge those who challenge the status quo? For centuries, history has measured women in power by different standards, scrutinizing their actions and relationships in ways men rarely face. Wu's story reminds us that scandal often reveals more about the society that creates it than about the individual at its center. Today, Wu Zetian is remembered not only as China's only female emperor, but as a figure who defied expectation. Her legacy is complicated, marked by both achievement and controversy. The tales of her lovers, whether truth or slander, are part of that legacy, reflecting the prejudices and anxieties of her time. But beneath the rumors lies a story of ambition, resilience, and the courage to break barriers. In exploring the legend, we find more than gossip. We find a window into the struggle for power, the uses of history, and the enduring challenge faced by women who lead. Wu Zetian's life, in all its complexity, continues to inspire debate, inviting us to look beyond scandal and to consider the forces that shape how we remember the past.